Hello, and welcome to Nobody Likes Watches, your channel for honest expert reviews grounded in professional and technical industry experience and insight. Who am I? I'm Mr. Nobody, your resident watchmaker who will be mentoring you in your development as an expert enthusiast, collector, investor, and hopefully future watchmaker, one review at a time. Please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon so that you're in the know when I release any new content. Today we'll be taking a look at a new piece from the Bernhardt Watch Company, the Retro World. Please do keep in mind that because this watch was donated by Bernhardt for review, this is technically considered sponsored content. However, the unbiased nature of this review will not be impacted by that. Fred assured me that he wants me to make sure that I'm completely honest in everything that I've experienced with this timepiece. Bernhardt Watch Company is an American family-run microbrand located in High Point, North Carolina. It has been around since the mid-2000s, originally producing contract pieces for military and police institutions, and eventually making these tools available to the public. They are renowned on the forums and amongst collectors for their legendary customer service, and their watches are sought out by enthusiasts because of the overwhelming bang-for-your-buck quality-to-value ratio. Today we'll be taking an in-depth look at the newly released reissue of the formerly retired Binnacle World, now taking on the title of Retro World. The Retro World is, in my opinion, Bernhardt's most unique and interesting offering to date. So with all of that out of the way, let's get started. So here we have the Bernhardt Watch Company travel case, a well thought out alternative that provides a watch box that can be utilized beyond the typical bulky display storage box that you'll usually get with most other watch brands offerings. Inside we have the timepiece securely packaged and the instructions and the warranty paperwork. The warranty is a 2-year international warranty that is transferable, and the provided instructions are for how to properly operate the timepiece's added function of the internal world time bezel. Now let's take a closer look at the Retro World. So we're going to start off the review with the Retro World's approximate case measurements. We have a case diameter not including the crown of 41 millimeters. This crown is oversized at 8.5 millimeters. We have a case thickness of 13.5 millimeters and a lug-to-lug of 47 millimeters. Now don't let that oversized 8.5 millimeter crown worry you. The way that the case is designed, the crown sits up higher onto the case and it's tucked into the case so that it doesn't dig into the back of the hand. The cushion barrel style of this case is extremely comfortable on the wrist. The dimensions are already very solid, proportional dimensions, very much in that Goldilocks zone I like to talk about. And because of the shape of the case, that barrel cushion style, it just contours and melts onto the wrist perfectly so that you have an extremely comfortable piece to wear, not only in terms of the width, but in also the thickness and in the fact that you're not getting any lug overhang. And if you have a bonier wrist or anything like that, then it's not digging into that spot. It's just very nicely, very evenly sitting on the wrist. This expertly machined case is water resistant to 200 meters. It is a brushed satin finish stainless steel. It has an exhibition screw down caseback that is individually serialized to the limited edition of 300 pieces of the different colorways. The crystal is a dome sapphire crystal with blue anti-reflective coating underneath. Now taking a closer look at the fit and finish of this case, it is expertly done. The brushed satin finish is high quality and looks to be a coarser grain in comparison to the Corsair. This level of quality satin finish really helps bring dimension and definition to the rounded nature of the cushion barrel case. Shown here on a leather rally strap, this watch originally comes on a 22mm stainless steel mesh bracelet with straight end pieces to accentuate the retro vibe. They do not connect to the case, but have a minimal gap that allow for organic look. This excellent mesh bracelet is the superior quality that collectors are looking for. The mesh is thick and sturdy, woven very tightly, and it allows for a very comfortable contour against the wrist. It connects to the section of links that are meant for sizing very seamlessly, and those links are finished very well with a satin brush finish. They use pins for sizing, which in this case makes sense. Screws would have made the dimensions a lot thicker for the links, and therefore the proportions wouldn't have matched that of the thickness of the mesh, so that you have a seamless, continuous, comfortable design. the pins make sense. These links connect to the excellently milled clasp, which is the same tremendous quality that we have come to expect from all Bernhardt milled clasps. The dial is a very nice matte green with a yellow accented minute track and a darker mustard accented 24-hour track. The colors play well together. Definitely a very 70s color retro earth tones combination that reminds me of the quintessential station wagon colorways of that era. The semi-complementary nature of these colors offers excellent contrast for enhanced legibility, along with the polished markers filled with super luminova and the broad arrow hands that are high polished that work very well when they're set against that matte finish behind them. Also, we have this very nicely white painted sweep seconds hand, which allows for even more contrast in being able to read it along the minute track, the 24-hour track, and against that dial and the high polished hands, so it doesn't get lost anywhere. Surrounding the dial is the internal world time rotating bezel. It is detailed with the major capital cities from around the globe, each allowing for the general reading of that listed city's time zone based on its alignment to the 24-hour track on the dial once the bezel has been adjusted to reflect your current home time by aligning it with the current 24-hour format indicated by the hour hand. This internal bezel is operated via this crown here at 2 o'clock. Once that crown is unscrewed, the bezel rotates smoothly with a light textile response requiring little force. And once it's aligned, when engaging and screwing down the crown, this is a very important detail, it stays put. It does not move. Sometimes on watches with internal bezels, I have had the experience with other brands that their pieces have a difficult time maintaining the alignment when screwing down the crown, which would end up defeating the bezel's function because it was no longer aligned with the reference point that you needed when you originally set up the alignment. Due to its oversized design, the signed screw-down crown at 3 o'clock allows for smooth unscrewing of the crown, smooth winding of the movement, and easy manipulation and use of the time setting and date setting functions. The signed screw-down crown at 2 o'clock is smaller in comparison, but it is designed with a good texture to allow grip and ease of use to adjust the internal world time bezel. When unscrewing and screwing down both crowns, they have seamless and smooth thread engagement due to the excellently manufactured crown tube that has thick threads and that has been correctly lubricated. The hand alignment and the date flip on this piece are both consistent with all the Bernhardts that I've owned. They are near perfect, more than well within the tolerance of +3 to -3 minutes, because they are approximately, as you can see, mostly between +1 to -1, if not perfectly straight on. Now let's take a look at what makes the Retro World tick. Bernhardt has opted to use the Miyota 9015, a 24 joule automatic movement. It is high beat at 28,800 beats per hour, which is 4 Hz. This 4 Hz results in a smooth 8 beats per second of the sweep seconds hand. It has an estimated power reserve of 42 hours, and accuracy tolerances are in the range of -10 to +30 seconds per day. Over the course of its initial 30-day testing period, this timepiece has been running very strong and extremely accurate, only gaining a total of 240 seconds in that 30-day period. This works out to be an average of +8 seconds per day, which is awesome and well within the tolerance for mechanical accuracy. Now that we've covered the stellar build and the functional and aesthetic details of the Retro World, I'm going to address the one potential improvement that I believe would help elevate this piece above its competition. The improvement in question is the Lume. The compound used for the dial markers, the broad arrow minute and hour hands, and the sweep seconds hands is Swiss Superluminova. It has an excellent initial green glow, but it fades gradually to a dim brightness that lasts through the night and is legible, but is hard pressed to compete with other pieces in the same market. All of that being said, this Lume is actually better and stronger than the previously reviewed Corsair. Please take a look at that review if you're looking for a steal of a deal diver. Also, regarding improvements, I have to say that I'm glad to see and report to you that the other potential improvements of having a second hand with higher contrast against the dial and adding an anti-reflective coating to the Sapphire crystal, both of which were mentioned in my previous review as areas of improvement for the Corsair, these have been successfully addressed in this model. So now that we've taken a look at the timepiece from a build, finish, design, and performance level, I would like to wrap up with my concluding analysis. When taking into consideration the Retro World and its quality premium materials, attention to detail, its highly unique and distinctive design, and its pricing, I personally think that, like the Corsair, there are few if any pieces that can compete dollar for dollar with its value proposition. Like the Corsair, the value of the bracelet and the movement alone almost account for 1/2 to 2/3 of the watch's asking price. Buying a solid premium quality aftermarket bracelet can run anywhere from $75 to $150, and the Miyota 9015 can price out to anywhere between $90 to $115 once you include case components, crystal, seals, custom dial and hands, bezel assembly, and labor to construct and warranty the piece. If you were to commission a one-off for yourself or mod an existing watch like an SKX, you're looking at an overall investment of $375 to $450, while this piece comes in at $394 shipped to your door. Sometimes affordable timepieces only deliver on paper and end up being a major disappointment in person. This only cements the reality of the time-tested notion regarding things that sound too good to be true. However, in this case, this piece is so good that it can't help but be true in over-delivering in what it promises. So you better make sure to go after this outstanding steal of a deal before the limited quantities sell out. Watch enthusiasts are part of a community, so please participate in the comments section with any experiences with this brand, as well as any other brands you've enjoyed or would like to see featured on this channel. Until next time, keep learning, keep collecting.